What's good, R&B squad? This is Autumn Ruth. I trust that this message meets you guys in good spirits. If you're new to this family, we don't believe that you're here by accident. Welcome. We're happy to have you, and Jesus is, of course, always happier. The word that I have today comes from a couple dreams that I had, some scripture that the Lord led me to, and some instances where He spoke to me in the natural, and also from some time that I spent with Him and listened to Him. And as per usual, as you listen to this word, you will know by the details whether or not it is for you. Please eat the meat, spit out the bone, take what's for you and leave the rest. And more importantly than that, please ensure that while you listen, you pray so that you may receive direct confirmation from the Lord as to whether or not the word is for you. All right. I am not sure where to start because there is so much that the Lord had to say. Let me see. Okay, I will start with the experience that I had in waking life, the occurrence that I had, an occurrence that took place that I was actually prompted to pay attention to by the Lord. So one of my friends had applied a new moisturizer to her face, a facial moisturizer, okay? And I remember her saying that her eyes were burning really badly. Really badly. When I tell you burning to the point where she said she felt like somebody had thrown hot sauce into her eyes. And it was burning so bad that she got to the point where she had to actually excuse herself, go to the restroom and try to wash her eyes out because she didn't know what was going on. But even after she tried to wash her eyes out for the rest of the day, she said that her eyes kept tearing up and they literally felt like something hot had been poured into them. When she finally got home later that day and she washed her face, immediately the symptoms went away. And come to find out, it was because the new moisturizer that she had bought actually had SPF 50 in it. And it was a very strong additive that was for sunblock that had been put in that moisturizer. And my friend has always been a little bit sensitive to sunblock. It's always made her eyes sting a little bit, but because the type of sunblock in this moisturizer were so strong, it caused almost like an allergic reaction with her eyes tearing up and watering and burning to the point where she felt like something had been poured into them. Okay, and the Lord spoke so loudly to me through that occurrence that my friend had that she shared with me, because here's the thing. She practically suffered the entire day thinking that it was different things. At first, she thought that it was the air conditioning. Then she thought that she was just having a dry eye flare up. But even when she's in air conditioning or when she's having a dry eye flare up, her symptoms still aren't that bad. She literally felt as though she was having an allergic reaction to something, or that like something got into her eyes. And she tried everything she could, a cold compress, a warm compress. She tried everything she could to alleviate these symptoms, only to find out later that day, purely by accident, that what was causing her eyes to burn and tear up was actually the new moisturizer that she had bought, because the sunblock in there was too strong. The type of sunblock that had been put in there was too strong. So for someone, let that instance speak to you. Let that occurrence, this thing that happened to my friend that she related to me, let that speak to you. Because sometimes the thing that you least expect is the root cause of your problem. Let me say that again. Sometimes the thing that you least expect is exactly the root cause of your problem. She never suspected that it was the facial moisturizer that she had just bought, because this had been touted to be something that was great. There are all these ads going on about it, stating how good it was, and she had gotten good reviews from other people who had used it. It was even recommended to her by a dermatologist, okay? But just because a lot of people recommend something doesn't mean it's going to work for you. That's a whole word for somebody, but I digress. Listen to me. Sometimes if you're experiencing some form of discomfort the thing that you least expect is the exact cause of the problem. Okay? So if you're in any discomfort right now, first of all, I pray that the Lord will relieve you of that discomfort in Jesus' name. Secondly, seek the Lord and ask Him to show you what is the root cause of the discomfort. And once you find out the root cause, you will be surprised to see how quickly the discomfort goes away. As soon as she washed her face, her eyes no longer burned. They no longer were tearing up because it was a sunscreen that she had applied to her face in that moisturizer that had been burning her eyes the entire time. So that's a word for somebody. Moving right along, this is interesting. This other word comes from a dream that I had, and this is going to get a bit detailed. Okay, so I'm going to go into the details beginning with the dream. In this dream, I saw this woman. She was inside her house, and as she was inside her house, these two other women, it was interesting what they did. They climbed up on a ladder, and when one woman climbed up, the other one was like actually holding the ladder to support her. Okay, hold on to that. Pay attention to that. So they both took turns climbing up on this ladder so they could look through this other woman's window. And when they looked through the other woman's window, they started telling her that they had come to connect to a hotspot and they needed to use a screen that was in her house. So they were saying that they had the hotspot, that their smartphones had the hotspot, and they were going to connect to a screen inside her home. They wanted to use her home and the screen inside her home to connect to this hotspot. So they wanted the screen to be connected to the hotspot. And at first, the woman was confused. She was wondering what was going on because all of a sudden there's all these people around. There are some people that they had brought with them, the two women who were asking to use her home so that they could connect their hotspot to the screen. They had brought some people along with them to assist them. And those people were sitting outside in the woman's front yard. Okay? So the woman is confused. She's asking them questions like, well, what do you want with my home? Why are you in here? Why do you guys want to come in here? And come to find out that somebody, either one of the two women who were asking to connect their hotspots to that screen, or some of the people that they brought with them, had disconnected her wireless router. So her internet connection had been cut off. And when I tell you that woman got so mad, she got so mad because she was saying, I use my internet for everything. This is how I connect to the outside world. This is how I keep in contact with everybody that I know. How can you all do this? And she was really upset. And then as she was arguing with these two women who had tried to come into her home to connect their hotspot from their smartphones to the screen in her home, she started to tell the people outside who had assisted them to come back in there and reconnect everything, reconnect her wireless router to her Ethernet port so that she could receive a connection again, an internet connection. And while that was going on, I started to hear commotion happening outside. And it turns out that somebody else who was apparently against these people who had come into this woman's home, those individuals came and started to attack the people who had come into this woman's home. So it's almost like they got their justice, or I'm sorry, the woman got her justice and they got their judgment right on the spot, like right after they'd done this to this woman, right after they disconnected her internet connection, they got their judgment because a bunch of people came in and started attacking them. And then I came away from what I was seeing in that scene, in that dream. Okay, I hope you guys followed me because I know that was like a lot of details to follow. But to make it plain and straightforward for someone, there is a person or there are people. And for most of you whom this is for, it's going to be more than one person because remember, there were two women. They were assisting each other and they brought people along to assist them. Now, an internet connection, any type of connection at all, represents human connection and connection to persons who can help you, like destiny helpers. Some of you, it's connection to your God-ordained partner. Okay? So these people, this person or these people, they have made a combined effort to cut the communication and connection between you and the people that God assigned to you. Let me say that again. This person or these people, they have made a combined effort to cut off your connections. And those connections that they've tried to cut off are actually very important connections. These are people who can help you. These are people who can help you make progress. These are people that God sent into your life. For some of you, it's your God ordained partner. These individuals have gone out of their way to cut the connection between you and these people that God ordained to be in your life. So your God ordained connections, these people have done everything they can to cut your connection between you and these people. These God ordained connections, all right? So listen, one of the individuals, the Lord pointed out to me that it's somebody who poses as a child of God. So one of these individuals who's attempting to cut off your connections, your worthwhile connections, is somebody who's posing as a child of God. So they pretend to know God. They profess that they know him, but they have a lot of evil in their heart. And this person is in a one-sided competition with you. Their motivation is purely jealousy. This individual who pretends to know the Lord, and this is somebody that you know, their motivation for trying to cut off your worthwhile connections is that they are jealous of you and they don't want to see anything good happen for you. The other individual who's involved is someone who not only is jealous of you, but also wants your connections for themselves. So this is somebody who's envious of you and also wants to connect to all of the people that God has connected to you. So what this can look like is this person actively trying to seek out the people that you know. This person may be stalking you, stalking your friends, trying to find out who your friends are, trying to strike up conversations with the people that you know. And in so doing, also trying to see if they can cut you off from those people. So they're jealous of your connections. And for some of you, this also includes not just your destiny helpers, not just the people that are meant to go on your journey with you, but also your God ordained partner. So this individual may also be jealous of your connection with your God ordained partner and may be trying to sever that connection as well. So in essence, what they want is to cut off your communication and your connection to everyone worthwhile in your life. Okay, that is what they're aiming for. And another thing that the Lord pointed out is that they were assisting each other when each woman was on the ladder. So when the first woman was on the ladder, the second woman was holding it to support her, and vice versa. Okay, so the Lord pointed out that these people, they have confidence in the help that they are receiving from each other. And they have done this thing, this attempting to cut off your connection, and they've tried to hide what they did and also to avoid punishment or judgment from God for what they did. Okay? And the fact that there were additional people there shows that multiple people may be in on this. And if they haven't brought multiple people in on it already, they will. Okay? However, the Lord highlighted the fact that they wanted a hotspot. They were looking to connect their screen or the screen to a hotspot on their phones. And the Lord made me laugh because he said they want a hotspot, they'll get one. They're not going to get a hotspot in terms of connection. What they're going to get instead, or what has happened instead, is that by attempting to cut off your worthwhile connections, they have put themselves directly in the line of danger and instability because now God will judge them. They will face God's judgment. Remember, right after they disconnected that woman's wireless router and cut off her internet connection, these people came in and started to attack them. Okay? And the Lord is saying that despite their efforts, they will still have to watch you reconnect with all the people that he assigned to you. And if this is about your God ordained partner, they will still have to watch you and this person come together. Okay? So to wrap up what that particular part of the dream, they are going to be judged for what they did, for trying to cut off your connections, because at the end of the day, if God connected you to these people, and he has, if he connected you to your destiny helpers or to your God ordained partner or business connections or whatever it may be, how dare they try to interfere? How dare they try to cut you off? And some of these people, not only have they tried to cut you off from these individuals in the natural, they've also put their hands towards spiritual wickedness to try to cut you off from your connections in that way. So they've really gone all out to try to do this. The Lord is not having it, and he is going to make sure that they are judged and your connections are restored. Okay? So there's another word coming up right after this one. And forgive the dog, he's just having like his daily bark. He tends to do that from time to time. If you have a dog, I'm sure you understand. So moving right along to the third word. And I'm just going to get straight into the message with this third word. For someone, you are about to receive a very generous gift. Okay? You're about to receive a very generous gift. And the Lord highlighted love. So for some of you whom this is for, this generous gift is going to come from the Lord himself. And he will be showing you through this generous gift how much he loves you. For others of you, this generous gift is coming from your God-ordained partner and from the Lord. Okay? Or it's coming from someone who loves you. If it's not your God-ordained partner, it's coming from someone who loves you, and it's coming from the Lord. Either way, it's coming from the Lord, because the Lord would have put it on this person's heart or these people's heart to bless you with this gift. Okay? What I should point out is that you will not know that you are going to receive this gift. And I did mention this in a previous word. This word may be connected to that word for some of you. You will not know that you're going to receive this gift, okay? How you will know that this word is not for you is if you had to go and try to make this happen on your own. So if after you hear this word, you go and you talk to the people that you know, or talk to someone that you know, whether that's your God-ordained partner or it's somebody else, and you try to ask them to do something special for you, or you ask them, you hint to them in any way that you want something, then you had to force it, and you know this word is not from you for you because you had to force it. Anything that you've had to force is not from God, okay? How you will know that this is for you is that this will indeed be a surprise to you. You do not see this gift, this generous gift coming. You will only know about it when you receive it. This is the second time the Lord has been highlighting this about a surprise gift and it being a very generous gift, a very generous gesture. The motive of the Lord and this individual who may be giving this gift to you is to show you love. The Lord highlighted love. So that's a word for someone. Now, finally, the last word is a kingdom marriage word. And I feel like there were like underlying tones of kingdom marriage in a lot of these messages. Oh, there's one other one. Before I get into the kingdom marriage word, there is one other message. Someone was taking care of a baby. It was their baby. They were taking care of this baby. And I had the sense that the baby was just born. But at the same time, even though it was supposed to be a newborn, this child was not in diapers. This child was old enough to wear like regular underwear. They weren't in diapers. Okay? So for someone, you're about to birth your promise, and you have been carrying this promise for a long time because of the age of the child who was supposed to be a newborn but wasn't. That shows that you have been carrying this promise for a while, and it is long overdue. So you are about to finally birth your promise, okay? And others will get to see when you birth it how long you've been carrying it. That being said, let me move into the kingdom marriage word now. So in this dream that I had, I saw a couple. They were performing a duet on stage. And toward the end of the duet, the curtain came down and the woman held the man's hand and she was leading him into her home. And then I came away from what I was seeing in that dream, and the Lord told me Ruth chapter 3. Okay? So for those of you whom this is for, the curtain, notice that they were performing a duet. Duet represents harmony, agreement. Okay? They were performing a duet, and it was a song. Singing represents joy and celebration, as the Lord highlighted it to me. So not only are you and your God ordained partner going to come into union and come into agreement and have a harmonious relationship, but you're also going to have a reason to celebrate. Things are about to go so well between the two of you that you will be celebrating. Also, the Lord highlighted that the curtain was coming down. So you have been on this marriage journey for a while. You've been in prep for a while, and the curtain is now coming down on the period of preparation, and you are ready to walk into your marriage promise. Okay? That being said, the Lord said, prepare yourself for it in the sense of putting your best self forward. Okay? Which is why he led me to Ruth 3:3. And if this word is for you, please read Ruth chapter 3 in its entirety, but I will read Ruth 3:3, and I will also put it in the description box. So this is the KJV version. Wash thyself therefore, and anoint thee, and put thy raiment upon thee, and get thee down to the floor, but make not thyself known unto the man until he shall have done eating and drinking. So the Lord is saying, get excited. I don't even think he's saying get ready anymore, because like I said, the curtain has come down on your prep. Get excited because you're about to walk into your marriage promise. And that's the word. I know there was a lot in here, but I hope that you found your confirmation in here somewhere. I hope that this word blessed someone. I love you guys. I will be back with another word as soon as the Lord releases me. Take care.